Bad news, everyone.
No, this is good news, everyone. We got a sponsor, braumracing seats.
But how?
Seats are probably the most important modification you can do to upgrade your vehicle. Well, if you decide to start modifying your vehicle.
Fact.
K vehicles are pretty slow, so you're going to be sitting for a long time.
Statistical fact.
Every single K vehicle in the US is at least 25 years old, and that means there's been a lot of people sitting in those seats.
Just the facts.
Most of the trucks were used for deliveries in Japan, and people are climbing in and out of them all day long.
Fact.
The original seats, they're just not very comfortable. So we made a corporate decision that we needed new seats, and then the process started. What would fit, construction quality, and where could we go sit in them to see if they were actually comfortable? To answer the last question first, you can't. Well, at least in Colorado you can't. There are some places in Colorado that you can sit in some fixed racing seats, but not the low bucket reclining, low bolster seats that might work. So the comfort factor is kind of a crapshoot, and we hope that buying something nice from a reputable race car seat manufacturer would be enough, and not skimping by buying some cheap ass Amazon crap seats. For us, it's kind of like gaming / office chairs. We bought $1,000 gaming office chairs that we got for $500 each because they were refurbished. But because they are so awesome, they still have a 12-year warranty. And yes, they are worth every penny. We spend so much time working on computers that being comfortable is so important. You also spend so much time driving that being comfortable is so important. Then once we had it down to a few contenders,
I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody.
we asked about affiliate program sponsorship, and somebody please take pity on us and give us a deal. Because nice seats are nice, but they're not cheap. We had multiple offers, but we went with Braum. We like the way they look, and I've driven a race car with one of their fixed seats mounted in it. And it was pretty comfortable, wearing Nomex, helmet, 5-point harness, etc., etc. They also had a seat that met the specs that we had to have to make it all work. But really the most important factor was Braum was professional. Prompt emails, they wanted to make sure that this was a good fit and could see the potential with partnering with Oni Kikai and the Oni Cave. Hit that like and subscribe button so we can build a bigger following and hopefully grow our sponsorship portfolio and this channel. If you have questions about getting sponsors for your build, please reach out or leave a comment. So we took the old seats out to try and figure out what modifications needed to be done. The seat is held on the engine cover seat thingy by only 2 bolts that go through the seat bracket onto one side of the slider, and the other side of the slider is welded on. The seat bracket is also really lumpy to accommodate for things like strut towers and the slider mechanism. Once we got the seat off and the carpet off and the insulation off, I don't know if you guys know this, but sitting on top of the engine is like having heated seats on low all the time. Pretty neat during the winter, but it kind of sucks during the summer. After we got it all taken apart, we started looking at it, and then we made the decision we had to cut one side of the slider off the seat bracket to try and make room for the new sliders that came with our fancy dancy Braum racing seats. Then we put the seat bracket back inside Oni to see how it was all going to sit together, see if it was level, and see what the next plan of attack was. After we had a rough idea how it was all going to fit, we needed to install the sliders onto the seats. Then get placement, make sure it was all level, drill some holes, and bam! All done. But we ran into our first problem, and that is the seat to the sliders mounting holes were off just a little bit. Incredibly frustrating, but we grabbed our step drill bit that only took a few hours to find, opened up the rails a little bit to make it all fit. Trying not to take out too much material to make sure it fit. It was a little drill here and a little drill there, and Yeah, and a little drill everywhere. We finally got the sliders attached to the seats. Once that was done, then the next step was to throw the seats into Oni and do a test fit. We learned some things. The seats meet the specs of the original seats that were in Oni, but this is where it all started to fall apart. The sliders rise the seats about an inch higher. We talked about it, and an extra inch is just too much.
That's what she said. Another good one.
We decided that we would do a fixed position on the driver's side, install the sliders on the passenger side to accommodate goofy, tall people. I'm 5 feet 9 inches. Well, actually I'm 5'8" and 3/4, but everyone taller than me is goofy and anyone shorter than me is a troll. This way, my lovely troll wife can be comfortable also.
Jackass.
To mount the driver's side seat directly to the engine cover plate seat mounting thingy, we decided to make a mount plate to attach the seat to, and this way we can mount the seat bracket to the hatch.
Aha, matey!
We were hoping it would all be a pretty straightforward install. Drill a few holes, put in some spacers to make it all level, which has now blossomed into a pretty simple fabrication job that we're not really ready for. Guess what? The cave does not have a 220 drop to weld with. Hard to believe, but this has pushed everything out because we have to rearrange our schedule and drive to a real town to get the material and parts needed to install the 220 drop to be able to weld. But yippee, now Allie can do all of my welding projects. Watch the next video where Allie gets to weld again. And yes, she is a welder. She even has a whole bunch of certifications in welding. We get a buttload of concrete delivered.
Fact.
A buttload is actually a unit of measurement for wine. And Oni gets new seats.